All right, you precious metal maniac. So I'm going to be going a bit off cuff here, but and I'll just take a look at the miners and the actual gold and silver futures. Starting off, this is the 4 hour charts, by the way. So, I posted for the past day or two on silver that 3003 was the number. And you can just see it on the tape, because I trade these futures during the day. So, but you can see it on the tape. It's the number. That is the number right now for silver to get through and start using as support. So these are 4 hour charts, by the way. So since I'm doing silver, we'll do silver first. So silver for the short term, and we'll get a long term look view in a minute. Silver right now just needs to hold 3264. Otherwise, we might be coming down to visit 3225 area. All right. So this is the 4 hour chart. It's grinding, but it's meeting up with resistance, and it probably looks like I have some sort of longer term line on here. Let me see what it is. All right, a rising wedge. So this weekly rising wedge had its bear break, and now it's back to testing it. So yeah, a little bit of a critical spot here on the silver futures, but back to the 4 hour. So, your levels for now, just for the next day or two or whatever it is. I contend it's 3003. You get these little spike overs. But the truth is that 3003, because I'm seeing it on the actual tapes. Like I said, because I trade silver futures during the day, so I'm seeing it on the tape. That is the spot where there's rejection, and when it gets past, they successfully knock it down again. So it's a key level for the short term for me at the moment. So, but these are your key levels to hold. Otherwise, we lose this 4 hour uptrend as it's trying to get back into the wedge resistance from the weekly wedge. And that's that on silver. It's still a week up, right? So it took out last week's high. So it's looking fine. But we just don't. Let's just take a look at the daily just to see if you see anything special. Yeah, so this daily lower high is set, higher low rather, at 3161. So at the end of the day, that is a big level. But for the short term, again, it's 3003. All right, so that is silver. Let's just see if I missed anything long term. Not really. If you look at I posted this maybe a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago, whatever. 3758 is really all this move is kind of, if it gets through this 3758, it's going to be the next target area to be watching. But, resistance is waning up here, right? So the volume resistance is not a lot of sellers up here except for the guys that are chopping around during the day. A little bit different with the futures, right? So there's contract rollovers and whatnot. So, but that is silver futures for the 4 hour. Let's take a look at gold to see if there's any difference. I think gold is just performing better. It's just kind of walking its way up a series of higher lows on the 4 hour. So, for me, I would probably like to see a 2860 area, maybe back test this little breakout 2870. Could be nice, it's I got flushed on this thing. I forget where it was. It was recently, so I do not have a physical gold position at the moment. Um, Made plenty of money on it though, so but that doesn't preclude me from doing it. Monthly, all-time highs. What else is there to say, right? We don't even need to go any further. But up until we still just this low is what we need to hold now, right? So 2009 I'm sorry, 2802. It's kind of what we want to hold. That's like the line in the sand on this monthly chart. But everything is fine on gold. There's no reason to even think about it in any other way. This is probably, quite possibly, you want to, if gold is drawing down, I'm going to want to be a buyer somewhere around there. 820, right? Monthly 12 EMA. That's a daily 12 EMA. Sorry. So yeah, that's the spot because this is your monthly higher low right now. on this monthly stair step. So this is the key monthly level here. And of course, it gapped up with the contract rollover. So that's the level to hold here on that contract. So that contract might hold. We'll see. But the 4 hour, you're getting a pretty decent amount of RSI divergence on these shorter term time frames. Let's see if we got on the 12. The 12 is okay. So that 4 hour is really, there's a little bit of a divergence there. So it might want to clear it up, which could take it down to 2850, 2860 area. That would probably end up being a fairly low risk spot if you're working off of here. So gold is all-time highs. There's nothing to say anything about that, right? So let's take a quick look at the miners. So GDX, this is the life of the chart. Now I've had this line up there for I don't know for forever, right? So, but really all it delineates is a pretty much a key level for GDX since it's been in existence since 2006, right? This 4161 thereabouts. There's probably some contention that could be changed around a little bit. Even if you take a look at the, let's just see what the quarterly tells you. Yeah, I mean, you could probably go up into here, right? Even a little bit. Nah, this is probably as good as it's gonna get. So $42, right? GDX, that's the life of the stock. So $42 is a lot of interaction all along the way for this ETF. So that's the key level to be watching, right? So these miners in general are very difficult business, and they're just not the best traders. It's you take some swing. I'll take swings on this stuff, but I'm not spending a lot of time and trying to hold positions. I stick to technicals on it for sure, right? And I try to get as low risk as possible. So the real truth is that um, the Bears are looking at the low risk plays right now. It's not the Bulls, right? The Bulls are in a high risk position right now. If you're entering into this name, it's a higher risk play. So the historical RSI levels coming into play here. My opinion is if I'm a bear, there are guys that like shorting the markets. I'm scouting a short here for a swing. That's the way I would be looking at GDX. But the all important 42 level is coming into play. Right, so this is going to start being low risk for bears, and you have a straight up move on the daily with zero consolidation. Great weekly 12 EMA ride, really a 5 EMA ride. Let's look at the weekly if it's got that 12 EMA ride. Interestingly enough, and if you listen to my videos, I do talk about this a lot. The weekly 12 EMA with the daily 50 DMA, and that's this line. The red line is the weekly 12 EMA. Well, guess what? GDX is just starting its weekly 12 EMA ride. So, this area in here is probably where I'd be looking to, position up as long as physical is holding, as long as the precious metal space is still doing well. I would have my eyes on this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to place in a little bit of an alert there. Okay. That's where I'd be looking to go bullish again, or looking to see what the bullish reaction is. I think I just messed that up. The bears, in my opinion, are the ones that are looking for entries right now. Shorts are going to be looking for entries here. So that's what I'd be aware of. This is a straight up zero consolidation move in the miners since late December. So, hey, I know people get mad at this, but consolidation is due. Weekly consolidation is due on this name, and I'm going to assume it's going to be due on the others. So I would just be aware of that. My alert is set. I want to see if we get GDX to do its 12 EMA, 50 DMA ride, right? So Here's your curl. It gets the ride, right? This is all a ride. So this is, you had that 12 EMA, 50 DMA ride for since basically March 2024 up until November 2024. So it's about a, you know what, 8 month ride. Pretty good, right? So are we looking at another 8 month ride here? Well, it's possible. Who knows? Either way, that's what I'm looking at with that. Gdxj, same deal. Oh, I got a lot of stuff on here, don't I? Let me just delete that. As you can see, I no prep work, right? I'm just looking at it off the cuff. That's what I do, I guess. So let's just look at a quarterly chart. So GDXJ, you know, different look than GDX makes some sense because it's juniors, but you know, you're coming to a big area. It's starting to test it. It tested it already last quarter. It's starting to come back up and look at it again. Let's see what the monthly looks like. Your monthly higher low is set. So bulls are working off this 41 area for sure. And they are obviously hoping that they get the breakout of this level, right? So 62, yeah, 62 bucks. And there's some interaction over here too. Um, it's an interesting level. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? That's your level. That's what we need to get over. And there's plenty of room on the RSI. It's not running hot. It has a decent little 12 EMA. It's the monthly. Let me look at the weekly with the 50. It's just starting the EMA ride again. So could we see it test this 55 and then maybe pull back for some consolidation? Yeah, you could. But I don't know if that's going to happen. It all depends on the space in general and what happens. You know, there's not a lot of heavy interest in these miners. The last time I was really chugging along with them, they were great traders, but it's different now. So GDX against GLD. All right, this is your ratio. You know, it's, I mean, this just shows how weak the miners are against the physical, right? And it's been that way for a very long time. It just tells you that the miners are for trading, they're not for investing, right? So, but you've got some support here on this ratio. It's starting to make a little bit of a turn, but you know, one could just say I'm looking for a lower high because that's what it's doing. It's the monthly, right? It's just making lower highs and lower lows, but it's holding this base here fairly well. So you got to start taking out these levels. So again, GDX, the miners against the metal itself are, they're two very different entities. So one would be deciding in their investing journey with the metals and saying, okay, well, are the miners the laggard, or are they just not the way to play gold and silver? You make that decision yourself. I don't have that answer for you. The chart tells me the miners are not the way. Certainly not something to invest in. But playing them as for traders, swing trading, it's probably, you know, it's great. I've done it many times before. So let us look at the silver ETFs. SIL. All right, same deal. Right, good base. Working on trying to make a higher high on this monthly. One could say that the monthly key level to hold is 32 bucks on SIL, and you're really going to want to get over, you know, 50, 51. It's just again, it's the miners are just not responding as well as the physical. So I'm just leaving it at that. So you choose, either one chooses this as a laggard play, or one just, you know, if gold and silver, the physical, the futures start quote unquote going down and changing their trend, I'm looking short on these miners and everything fairly quickly, right? So it's obvious. Um, it's kind of the deal. SIL is, well, it's still in a weekly uptrend, right? Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, which is set, right? So again, 32 is is an important level for SIL as far as holding as support, and we just need to get over 40. That's really going to be the spot where it could start to lose resistance. Yeah, you can see it in the volume profile here too. I mean, there's still a lot of chop to get through, all the way through. That's the deal, right? 32 is a key spot. SILJ, the juniors. Um, this lost its weekly uptrend, right? Low, high, and I'm being basic here, right? Higher low, double top, lower low, loses the uptrend, right? Starts again. Higher low, higher high, regains it, starts to lose it again, right? So right here, you got this low held, and there's your lower high right there. That's probably going to be a little bit of a key spot. And then it just dumped. So it lost its uptrend. It doesn't even have a confirmed. Um, well, it confirmed its downtrend, but there's no uptrend here yet. So let's just look at the daily, see if it got any sort of pivot. I mean, it did. It's kind of dinky, but it did, right? So low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, triple bottom, new high. It's still going to be looking for a pivot. So um, SILJ for the Bulls will probably be looking somewhere in here. They're going to want that gap to fill, maybe. A lot of be waiting there, and the Bears are going to be waiting up here at these levels here, maybe even at the 200-day moving average. So SILJ does not look as good as SIL. Makes some sense because it's the juniors, right? So if you just want to look at some majors, right? So let's look at Agnico. Yeah, this is a great stock, right? So it's probably even better to be in this than it is in ETFs, right? Newmont was good for a long time too, but that Newcrest deal just kind of killed that stock. It's probably recovered some. Yeah, I'm inclined to say that. I mean, look at this. It's all-time highs, right? So Agnico is it's in blue sky breakout, right? And GDX is just struggling. So it's better to pick the real winners um, than it is to play ETFs in this particular sector. In my opinion, there are plenty of sectors that that's not the case, right? So you got to make those choices as you go. Franco, you know, not hasn't done it. So I'm looking at the big names. I know Barrick is just crappy as all hell, probably, right? Is Barrick? Yeah. All right. Geopolitical risk is part of that gig as well. Let's just see. Osico is usually a pretty good one. Yeah. Right. Oh, Cisco rather. Sorry. Yeah, it's in blue sky breakout, and it's just doing a little back test of its breakout area and looking to go again. So, I would choose this. Why not choose this over GDX if you ask me? It's got a good monthly 12 EMA ride. I bet you it's a 12 a rider here too. Yeah, a little bit different, right? So it behaves different. It doesn't necessarily follow the rules of the weekly 1250 DMA, but this 50 weekly 50 EMA and a 200-day moving average ride, no pun intended, those are the gold spots to be entering, right? So it's as long as it holds there, so this becomes a spot. So all in all, the miners are not performing anywhere nearly as well as the physical itself. Newmont's just a mess, if you ask me, but whatever. Good bounce. So I would, personally, I'm going to be sticking with that unless I see something change in relative strength. So, if you're looking again, ratios are good for this type of deal when you want to look to see where you should be dumping your money, putting your money into. I shouldn't say dump, putting your money into as far as is the gold, the actual physical metal against the miners. So yeah, that's the deal. I would keep an eye on the ratio, but it's not looking great. This is just okay. Yeah, you got a decent move, but it doesn't do anything to this chart whatsoever. So this chart needs to change. This ratio chart needs to change to say, all right, well, it's time to put money into the miners. So, maybe we get a good pullback in the physical metal, and the miners don't. I don't know that I'd be betting on that. If I start to see the physical metal take a little bit of a hit or get a little bit of a trend change, it seems to me like the play is to short the miners as quickly as fervently as possible. But I don't know. I'm not really messing with the miners that much these days. That's it for the devil on the precious metals. Over and out.